Namaste to all of you. Shubhadinam, Subhodayam. Wish you happy Dasara greetings. And may Mother Durga, Mother Saraswati, Mahalakshmi, Mother Sharda Devi bless all of you. Bless all of us in our life journey, in our work, in our seva, and in gaining more spiritual illumination. Today is another interesting webinar day as part of our series of Resurgent India. The Vivekananda Institute of Human Excellence, as many of you are aware, has been doing these programs week after week so that our youth, professionals, parents will not become weak in the sense of health, strength, peace, joy. We need to become more and more strong. We need to become more and more vibrant, pure, purposeful for one's own growth and for the welfare of the country. This is our major attitude, contribution to the country. This webinar being organized today is on Nari Shakti, the power of the motherhood, power of women, power within the women, not just the external funfair, but the inner Shakti, the divinity, that Adya Shakti, which is dormant, which is hidden with so many other things, that has to be wiped out. We have to help the women, help the children, help the girls to awake from their sleep and to contribute for the welfare of the society. So to discuss about it, how the Nari Shakti can build a resurgent India, we have three wonderful people today. One from Bangalore, Ms. Swati Ram, who is deeply connected with education and rural development and slum children's education. Namaste, Swati Ramji. Welcome to the webinar once again, and you can address the participants today. Swati Ramji can come online, unmute and speak.
या देवी सर्वभूतेषु शक्तिरूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः. I bow down to the Divine Mother who manifests as Shakti, or the innate tremendous potential that all of us have within ourselves. My humble pranams at the holy feet of the Divine Triune Swami Bodhmayananji. He's the one who has always prodded me to speak. So when people introduce me as a motivational speaker or something, there were times when Swamiji used to call and I used to be scared to pick up my phone thinking, oh my God, he's going to call me to say something on stage. But he was really pent up on it, and I'm so glad he pushed me into it because it gives me a forum to share my experiences. So thank you so much for that, Swamiji. I think this is a wonderful topic today and very close to, of course, all our hearts. And the two young women here, I won't call them girls because we're talking about Nari Shakti and women, the power. They already spoke a lot, and Sumitaji, of course, surmised it so well that I'm wondering what should I really say here, because we all know what is to be said. But like Chaitanya introduced, I have had the fortune of being at the grassroots for more than 9 years now, and I've met some amazingly inspiring people. So I would just like to share a few anecdotes which will, help us understand better than what we just probably read in books and think as to what Shakti really means. This happened a few years ago. I think it is more than 7 or 8 years. Like Chaitanya introduced, I was then in Hyderabad. I was the city coordinator of Youth for Seva in Hyderabad. And obviously, so my number was everywhere, and anybody who would want to volunteer in Hyderabad would give me a call. The calls usually ranged from, students to homemakers who had a variety of queries. They used to ask, when can I really volunteer? How many hours should I really give? Will it really make a difference if I volunteer? Or, of course, there were a lot of students who also asked if we would give them certificates. One day I received a call where the lady who talked from the other end, I couldn't really figure out much of her age over call, but she did mention that she's a working woman. She has a good amount of time to give back to the society. But her questions were not really about what can she do or how many hours has she to give, will she make a difference. But she asked me questions like, does your office have a ramp? Do you have a lift? And how much time, how many stairs does it have, even if the lift fails, kind of thing. Being in the social sector, you try to become a little sensible because you would have met all kinds of people. And I didn't really ask her why she knew, but I could somehow guess that probably she was Divyang or differently able. So she asked for a ramp or a lift so that she could come probably on a wheelchair and get to her office. The next morning when she came, I won't say shocked or surprised, but I wasn't really off of what I saw. This lady had a modified Tata Winger, a very huge vehicle. She would always lie on a stretcher because she was paralyzed neck down. Nothing would move. From her neck, she was paralyzed. She could only use all the, eyes, ears, and there. And she was lying down. They got out the stretcher. They put her on a specifically modified chair again. That is why she had asked for a ramp. And then we put her into the lift, and she came to the office. Any moment during the talk that I had with her, she never even mentioned how she came to that state or what happened. All she kept saying was, Swati, I have a lot in me and I can give back to the society. God has given me a lot and I want to give back to the society. Imagine how much we crib for every small thing we do in life. And here is a lady who is paralyzed neck down, one hand pains. We actually shifted our home yesterday until 11:30, 12. They were unpacking, and today morning session, I was already like, oh my God, how much of work. And then, you start thinking whether we can really come back and present ourselves somewhere. And here is a lady who has been saying, God has given me so much and I want to give back to the society. And she herself said, don't think I can't do things. My communication is very good. I can talk to people. She couldn't move her hand. She said, she had voice typing software. I can tell the name, it will dial. I can ask people. I can motivate them to volunteer. So just tell me, what can I do? I can do 4 to 5 hours per day. And this has somehow stuck with me. And whenever I think of Shakti, right, this is one of the incidents which really comes in front of me. So imagine the kind of tremendous potential we have. We crib for small things we have, and this lady wanted to give back to the society. The second such example, which I always remember, an anecdote that I give is like she shared again. I was fortunate to be, able to volunteer in relief efforts in Uttarakhand. One of the real eye-opening experiences in my life. So in Uttarakhand, very hilly areas, we all used to sleep. We didn't know when we would fall down because Ganga was actually roaring, wet mud everywhere. We had to trek with our luggage, no vehicles. When we were going to a village for survey like that, there was a 70 years old woman. I don't even want to call her old. Maybe I can just say age. She was, leading this mountain path so briskly with us. Her name was Ganga Sarani again, so beautiful, and I can never forget her. Such brisk walk, and like Swamiji says, she was a woman on a mission. She was climbing these hills, and when we went to the top of the hill, she just had this such a gentle, calm look on her face, and she was seeing something around. I asked her, "Kya hua, Maji?" And she said, "I lost all my fields to the floods. All this that I can see from here, you see, are my fields, and I lost them to the floods." She had tears in her eyes, and I said, "Oh, you don't know what to say at that moment. You can't even say sorry. They've lost everything their life meant for. It's not a house which could probably be reconstructed also." So she said, नहीं नहीं ऐसे नहीं बेटा, ये तो गंगा मैया ने ही किया है, हमने कुछ तो गलत किया होगा that Ganga Maya has done this. Maybe we were really wrong in some way that Ganga Maya chose to show her fury that way. So from that brisk walking woman who seemed like a woman on a mission, I saw this gentle look. And when Swamiji said after Navaratri we are doing this, I remembered that when we worship Navadurga, she is this nurturer Skandamata. She's also the slayer Kalaratri. And probably I saw all of these emotions in Ganga Sarani that day. I think that should really tell us, all my young friends here, what Shakti really means and what we have within us. Over the years, I have seen a lot of such examples, of course, both in men and women, because Shakti is in each of us. But because this is dedicated to Nari Shakti, I went to Medak, where a girl on a wheelchair again. She was a slum girl. She used to say, I have received education, so I want to teach my brothers and sisters in the slums. She used to come on the wheelchair all the way to come sit there and teach them. Another girl that I met in Hyderabad itself, I was very surprised. I didn't know her when I met, but her sister told me that she had had a cornea implant and she had only 25% of her vision. And again, that confidence, the confidence, conviction she had, she never spoke about it. She was only telling me, हाँ दीदी मुझे volunteering करना है और क्योंकि मुझे दिखता नहीं है, I need a magnifying glass. I will teach the children in an orphanage, but I need a magnifying glass to correct their assignments. Imagine, and she told it just as a matter of fact. It didn't hurt her that she had 25% vision. She was ready to give back to the society. All age groups, you'll see the manifestations of Shakti like this. I keep quoting this example of a doctor from US who came to volunteer with me in Kumbh Mela. I was in charge of the Seva Mitra program where we were primarily engaging doctors in volunteering in Kumbh Mela, providing free service to all pilgrims. As soon as she landed from US, she asked, Acha, when does my shift start? No jet lag, no chai milega kya when it is so cold. So this is the way Shakti manifests. And it just reminds me that Swamiji kept saying that whenever they've had an opportunity, women have proved time and again that they have as much ability as men have had. Only with this advantage that they seldom degenerate and they hold on to this moral compass, the standards of morals which are innate within them. I mean, imagine this statement. I think we might read any amount of Swamiji's works, but if you just reflect on how careful he is, he didn't say when women are given an opportunity. Nobody gives anybody an opportunity. He said whenever they've had an opportunity. Whenever women have had an opportunity, they have proved that they have as much ability. And you can see this manifested everywhere in the society. As recently as the beginning of this year, I was reading some very interesting news. All of you, I don't know, some of you would have seen it. Rajasthan got the distinction of getting both the youngest and the oldest sarpanch of this time. I'm sure Swamiji would have also followed. So there was this 21-year-old girl who became a sarpanch. There was also a 97-year-old woman called Vidya Devi who became a sarpanch in Rajasthan. So when 60, 70, 80, sometimes even some of us nowadays at 30, 40, people start saying, Abhi kya hai, life mein kya bacha hai, aaram se settle ho jana or our life is done. I keep wondering, here is a woman at 97. And when they asked her, why did you want to be a sarpanch? She said, I wanted to work for women, widows who struggle to get their pensions. And I want to see that every house in my village has drinking water. Imagine having that kind of a goal, that kind of a vision. I think these are also youth. They're just giving back to the society so much than they take, like we keep saying in Youth for Seva. So this is the 97-year-old, Shakti manifested woman that we have. All such lot of examples you will see. If you saw the Padma awardees for the last 2-3 years, right? Again, like Sumita ji said, all walks of life, you can bring about resurgence. I mean, this program that Bodhmayananji has been doing is an exact example of that. You don't have to be only this and that to make a difference in life. In any field that you're, be it music, art, seva, IT, whatever it is, you can make a difference. So you would have read about Anuradha Koirala. She runs something called Mighty, which itself translates to Mother's Home in Nepal. Imagine a lady who has saved more than 20,000 girls who were prone to trafficking. She rehabilitated them and she prevented more than 48,000, is what I'm told, from just being trafficked, right? And then there is Salu Marada Timmaka. I'm from Karnataka, so maybe I'm partial to her. All of you would have read about her. Salu is row in Kannada, and Mara is trees. So she planted rows and rows of 8,000 trees. Imagine the kind of shade we have because of her today. And she treats each tree like her child. Casual laborer somewhere who felt she wanted to plant trees. Then you would have read about Meenakshi Amma. She is the oldest exponent of Kalaripayattu. So there is no dearth of energy of what you want to do, any field that you choose. And again, this Dr. Dadi, Dr. Bhakti Yadav, right? All of you would have read about her again. More than 90 years of age. She has been giving free medical treatment for the last 68 years. Thousands of deliveries done free of cost. These are the kind of people that represent the Shakti of India. I was reading an article where an anchor said he interviewed tennis player Martina Navratilova. She might be very old for a lot of you young people here, but for all of us, she was like the ideal then. So this Martina Navratilova, apparently, when somebody asked her, "How are you so sharp and focused in your game, even at the age of 43?" So she apparently said, "How does my ball know my age? What we need to do is stop ourselves from stopping ourselves." Most of the times, we are the only people inhibiting our own energy, inhibiting our own potential. So she said, stop yourself from stopping yourself. So how beautiful is that? So this is the manifestation of Shakti we are looking at, which we could see through all these examples. And since we are talking about Vivekananda, Vivekananda truly believed that, Bharat and Vedanta, especially that we have here, it's such a huge, vast, valuable knowledge of Vedanta in India. that is going to bring the change in the whole world, let alone in India. And he said women are going to play a very important part in this, that is in making Bharat a Vishwa Guru or a world power, as we talk about. And like Swamiji also briefly touched upon at the beginning of the session today, right? Every time we speak about feminine power or Matra Shakti, it is not really limited to just women. All of us have masculine power and feminine power within us. That is why we say Ardhanarishwara, no Shiva Shakti in India. We have it within ourselves, men have it within themselves, even nations have it in them, both the masculine and the feminine powers. So the West is usually, said that it is the masculine West. That is the very growth oriented. It's not wrong to grow, but the most important point is how do you grow? So West is supposed to be a masculine West. Of course, great things to learn from them. The East, India and the other countries, right, the subcontinent, we are known to be the feminine East. And what are the feminine qualities that are there? It is long-sightedness. We never do things like, what is going to get, I just want to do something and finish it in 2 days. What is going to be the impact on the future? That is how, through generations in India, we've been living in a lot of synergy with all elements of the nature. So this long-sightedness and interconnectedness, we are always there for each other. If you see the way India has performed during the pandemic, when nobody waited for really government to declare something, or even the bigger institutions, every person, you can see so many examples who started doing their own bit to serve the society. So that interconnectedness, this is what brings about the sustainability and the harmony in the society. So that is what is known as the feminine power. As women, we should be very glad that we carry more of that feminine power, but it's there in every man and every nation. And today that sustainability is what the world needs. Imagine United Nations now has sustainable development goals. They have a lot of labels, they're following it, asking every country to battle climate action, makes us SDGs their priority. And in India, if you read each of them, they say no hunger. We have been doing Annadana for ages for the same reason. So the sustainability is the core of this feminine nature, which is inherent in India. And unfortunately, today we are only thinking about growth, right? We are imitating people thinking about growth, but growth has to come with values. Nobody is asking us not to grow. And this is the essence when Nari Shakti for Resurgent India, for me, definitely as women, like a lot of examples I gave, we have that tremendous potential. And like Vivekananda also said, that when given an opportunity, when we have the opportunity, not given, we really show our ability there. Also with the advantage, like he said, of no degeneration, we keep it, and that's again sustainability. This is how all these factors connect into each other. So today, if there is one message, if we have to take away, we should believe that this we are the source of this power, and there's no empowerment needed for us. What is more needed is, as women, all of us realize this potential inside us, and as human beings and as nations, all of us realize the importance of the Shakti part of it, the feminine energy, the feminine power, like I told you all about. Growth is necessary, but if we realize and manifest this feminine power to a more extent, that is when the world becomes sustainable and more interconnected than ever. That would really be my message for a resurgent India, resurgent world, and more importantly for Bharata to be the Vishwa Guru, where we're going to lead the way through Vedanta, and as women, we will definitely pave the way for it. Dhanyavada, Vande Mataram.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your willing contribution. You have won hearts of each one of us today. You have ignited the fire and motivated us to revive our own Nari Shakti. And your examples, your experiences, and grassroots level experiences, especially, are the true manifestation of Nari Shakti. Thank you once again for your precious time. Have a great session ahead, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, Siri and Swati. We'll get back to you after the two speeches.